And so we did the testing and they called us back. I think it was like 7 days. They're like, yeah, he definitely has it. But we're still like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to believe that. You know, your pregnancy, we traveled the world. We had a great life and we still do. But like we were, you know, that couple, we were in a big city. We did our thing. And then we were just older parents and we're like, everything's going to be fine. Everything works out for us. You know what I mean? And it does still, but you know, we were just in our own space. He was born November 2022 when we had him. And we looked at him, I was like, oh yeah. he has it. And Mike was like, yeah. And immediately I had fear. I was like, oh, you know, what am I gonna do with this baby? Because I just had a baby, so I was like, oh, I have another baby. Babies are fine. But now I have a special baby. So I was just like, oh, okay. So immediately it was like fear. And then as the months grew on and your baby is your baby first before their diagnosis. They're just a person, but you have to learn that. No one can tell you that. I remember posting on social media, like, you know, my husband and I found out our baby has, you know, gonna have Down syndrome, and everyone was sending me videos of cute babies with Down syndrome. I'm like, don't send me that. That's not my baby. Don't send me no video of Down. I don't care. Down syndrome people are so happy. I don't care. Like, you don't want to hear it. But because you have to go through all the emotions. You mourn the loss of what you think your baby is gonna be, the future. You think, oh my gosh.
From an ego point of view, okay, he's my son. So everybody wants their son to be, you know, this representation of them. And, you know, you want to play ball with him, you know, you want to do all these things with him. And that would have been great, you know. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been, but there is a certain kind of like detachment that you should have. Meaning like, listen, this is the kid, this is how he showed up, this is who I'm going to raise and love. Do you understand what I mean? I'm sure it could be damaging to a lot of men are sad, or they could just reject it, like, no, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, oh, come on. And maybe I gotta leave the wife, I gotta go have another kid with another woman, so I want a healthy son. You know what I mean? There's a lot of responses that you can go through, you know. Or you can just say, listen, he's here, he's healthy, let's do it, you know. Because if you don't, you're always gonna be wondering, like, what happened to him? You know, or could I have made a difference in his life? You know what I mean? Am I a coward for running from this? So you don't really want to, that's probably a bigger burden to carry than you would expect, you know.
But they're like, okay, you're, you know, a geriatric pregnancy when you have a baby over 35. Yeah, it's pretty harsh. But like you said, you don't think it's gonna happen to you, but they're like, we need to, because of your age, any mom over 35, they run extra tests on you to make sure your baby is gonna be healthy, because there's higher risk because you're older. So they're like, we need to run some blood work, and then we'll get back to you in a week to let you know if anything came back on not normal. And they called me probably, I think it was the day before our gender reveal, and they were like, we found something in your blood that looks like your baby could have an extra chromosome. We need to do further testing. And we had our gender reveal. And so I feel like I couldn't be happy at our gender reveal. It was the very next day, because I got this in the back of my mind. And we didn't really announce it to the family then. So we have our gender reveal to find out if we're having a boy or a girl. But inside, I'm just like not as excited as I should be, because something could be wrong with my baby, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? And so I was holding in, Mike was holding it in, trying to put smiles on and act like it was all good. A week after that, we go and get further testing. And some women choose not to do it because your baby can miscarriage, because what they do is they take a needle and they stick it inside your pregnant belly, and they take some of your amniotic fluid out, and they can test it over, you know, to see if there's anything wrong with your baby. Like I said, when I first saw him, there was fear. And then as the months grew on, I was just like, he's just like a normal baby. He laughs, he smiles, he poops, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to get dressed. You know, I want this kid to grow up with love. I want him to grow up feeling like, yes, I'm different, but I'm fine. And so, you know, just sharing our story it's been kind of therapeutic, because we get feedback from people and they're just like, oh, Savoy's so cute. He just lights up my world. I'm like, really? You know, so it's great to share our story and let people see that your baby is your baby. They're not aliens. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's okay to be scared at first because it's a fear of the unknown. Like, we don't know what we're dealing with, you know what I mean? We don't know. And so, you know, like I said, my whole pregnancy, I was in denial until I saw him. And then I was like, okay. And then at my age, I feel like this is what whatever lesson that I need to learn, I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna make me a better person, you know, make me whoever I need to be. But I feel like Savoy has healed me. He's humbled me. You know, he's great. He's great. Sorry. He's the best thing that happened to my family. And you feel bad because in the beginning, you don't want that baby. You know, you want your baby to be perfect. And yes, he has an extra chromosome, but he's still perfect. He's full of personality. You know. Daddy on the bus, I love you.
Me and my father were, you know, talking. He was there and we were playing with him and he was trying to watch TV. And then we were talking and then he just like looked at me like it's like he broke character. He was just looking at me. I said, I see you. You know what I mean? So he has these moments and he's just like, yeah, I'm here. Like you can see his consciousness, you know. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to observe.
I think I just want people to know that they're just like us. They just have a little extra, and the extra is really good. You know, if you dive into it. I am sad sometimes because I have people that inbox me that have children that have Down syndrome, and they're like, how are you so positive, and how are you, like, they're still in the mourning phase and their kid is like 3. And I'm just like, your kid can feel your energy. I had to shift my whole energy while I was pregnant. Like, you know what, whatever happens, we're gonna work it out. This is gonna be great. I would sing to him, he would move, he would let me know that it was fine. And so my dreams went from, because I would have dreams that he was fine, then the dream went to he's not fine. It was like my emotions were going back and forth. And then as I started to talk to him and communicate with him, the dreams were more pleasant. It was just like, I'm fine, we're fine. So it just I think you have to make the best of your situation and make the best for your child. What every parent wants to make the best for their child. You got to get over your feelings, put your big girl panties on, and just like make it happen, because you want them to feel loved. You want them to feel accepted, and you want the best for them. So a good attitude is what you need for anything in life. I get lots of messages on social media of women in other countries, in Kenya and Nigeria, and even, you know, all over where if your baby isn't considered perfect and they don't have all the right chromosomes and all in XYZ, then they want you to abort the baby. And so they don't have resources, they don't have therapies, they don't have early intervention programs, they don't have anything to set your baby up for success, because they're like, we told you not to have that baby. So they're looking on social media. The same thing I did when I got pregnant. I was looking on social media looking for, you know, looking for somebody like me. And I felt like everyone was telling their story, but I feel like everyone was like, oh, it's great, and the baby's lovely, and they're so cute. And I'm like, no, give me the everyday. Like, what are you doing every day? Let me see the therapies. Let me see, you know, the doctor's appointments. I feel like people were just, and everyone documents what they're comfortable with. So that's why I try to be very transparent on my page, showing, oh, Savoy took his first steps. Oh, now he's sitting up. Oh, this is what we're working on now. These are all goals for this month, because I think it gives people a realistic, like, this is what your life is going to look like. I have a couple of friends now that have Down syndrome toddlers, and they joined a support group when they were pregnant. Finding a pediatrician that is familiar with your baby's case. Like, some pediatricians see Down syndrome people all the time. Some of them don't. And his first pediatrician, like, they just didn't have that many cases of Down syndrome infants. And there's all this extra screening. They have to get a thyroid test. They have to make sure they can hear well. There's vision. There's all these extra tests that you don't know about as a new parent. And if you're a pediatrician, they know some, but that's not their specialty. So if you do your research on your pediatrician to see how familiar they are with your case. I think I'm just a little bit more patient. I think I'm just like, I'm okay if things don't go the way that I thought they were gonna go. Like I just kind of flow with life. I think before I was just like, this is the way, this is my schedule, and on Monday I'm gonna do XYZ, and on Tuesday I'm gonna do ABC. And it's like, no, I have 2 toddlers. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna brush my teeth today. Like, Lord Jesus. But I think that's part of parenthood too, regardless of special needs or not. But it's like, kids, you kind of see some of your best qualities in them and some of your qualities that you want to work on. Like, oh great, that's where that comes from. That's what my mom had to deal with. But we want to travel, and we want them to see the world, and we want them to learn from life experiences, not like reading books and like, this is what you do, and this is you go to school and then you graduate and you go to college, which you can. I did all that. But I want my kids to have that sense of self younger, so that can carry them through life, so maybe it'll be a little easier for them. Mila is a great big sister. I was worried about that because I was like, I have this typical kid and now I'm gonna have a special needs kid. Like, what is that gonna do for her life? You know what I mean? And I think it's enhanced her life so much. She's so helpful. She's like, when she goes and she does gymnastics or preschool, she's like helping the teacher all the time. And I think because she's used to helping me, she has more compassion. She's so sweet and nurturing. And so I just think it's just gonna make her a great individual. Like, it's what you worry about, because you're like, am I gonna give my child a burden? Do you know what I mean? That's what you fear. Like, you want her to be individual, him to be an individual. But the way Savoy's going, he's right on track he'll be fine. And when he hears her, his eyes light up and he smiles. He is so excited to see her. She's like this crazy energy, and he's not sure what to do with it, but he's just like, let me play with her too. Sometimes I feel like she gets a little jealous of him. Sometimes he gets a little jealous of her. Like, if she's crying and I'm like, Mila, it's okay. Savoy's looking like, what? You my mama. Like, why are you doing that? And so I can see that, but it's like, Savoy, it's Mila's turn. Like, she has to get some attention. She has to get some love. So it's just fun to see the dynamic. Both of them, we want them to feel loved and feel like, you know, mommy and daddy has our back. And I think that we're doing that. For any expecting parent that's worrying about the dynamics, it actually makes your kid kinder, softer. You know what I mean? She looks at all kids, all colors, all shapes and sizes as like people. Whether you have a special needs kid or not, introducing your kids to people that are different is a beautiful gift, because they're kinder and they understand everyone's not like me, and that's fine. Too many people grow up with only people that look like them in their neighborhood, only friends that look like them. And it's like, no, that's not what real life is like. You know what I mean? So I think if it's something you're worried about, it's actually a beautiful gift for them. But it's just nice to see their love. It's like, it's a gift.